calling me. They'll be calling me royalty. Best to give me loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me. They'll be calling me royalty. They'll be calling me royalty. Stay up late just 'cause I broke all the cages. No, I didn't take it. No, no. Girl, I people that I guess don't ever learn. Every time I break, there's just more pain to burn. So never, never, never till the battle's won, till kingdom come. I'll never run. Best to give me your loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty. Best to give me your loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is AEL Week 3 Playdate number 6. My name is Alien. I am joined by the wonderful man himself, Whiskey Run. We've got two big games coming up for you guys tonight. Whiskey, how are you doing tonight?
Doing great, my friend. And yeah, you called it two great games, two best of ones in a row in a doubleheader. SpaceShoobs taking on Army of Five, followed up by Chaos taking on One Up Esports. Both looking forward to be good matches here tonight.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. In the first matchup between Army of Five and SpaceShoobs, this is the lineup we're looking at. Army of Five having to bring in a substitute in the name of Easy. Kensu, Binyat, Sipsy, and Louis make up the rest of Army of Five. And then for SpaceShoobs, Krat, Lenny, Bunnug, Jimbo, and Roxo are the five that's going to be taking on this roster. And looking both across both teams going into this matchup, Army of Five with the better record, a 2-1. Last game they played was a 7-0 victory against Squad Up. While on the other hand, Spaceship still looking for their first victory after a 7-1 loss against Source Gaming. But back in Playday 2, it was an 8-6 loss. So they still have some space to kind of make up, but still not out just yet.
And like you said, this isn't the Army of Five roster that you guys have come to know that won back-to-back Skyline Weekly Series. This is a new roster. There's a few familiar faces, but I think we're going to see more of that old A5 roster on the Kunai team later in the season. Space Tubes, for sure, a team that we have seen and casted in a variety of forms and league, but always a fun time here tonight. So, looking forward to a matchup between these two to see how the new rebuilt Army of Five team is going to do against this SpaceShoobs team.
Yeah, and as we start preparing these map bands, I've got to say I'm very excited to see what both of these teams bring on. I think Army of Five has got that chemistry going. While with Spaceships, even though they're still a newish team, they still have a lot of hope and inspiration to kind of try and take down one of the big players. As the map bands are starting to count down, Cafe, Chalet, Night Haven, Skyscraper, Bank, Consulate, and Border all off the board. Oregon not making its appearance as we go to Clubhouse. One of my favorite maps, a map that has been a staple in this game since year one.
Gotta say that Clubhouse is the second most picked map in this league. The teams absolutely love Clubhouse, and we may even get to see the number one later on tonight, depending on how the picks go. But to me, the big interesting one there was that Nighthaven was very low on the list. Uh, for sure in the year 9 season 2 we have seen really the rise of Nighthaven and the bigger maps coming out with all the vertical play happening. So even though we're not seeing Nighthaven, going to see Clubhouse. A lot of familiar and similar feel between those two teams, feeling very confident walking in with this, a lot of teams picking this one over a lot of the other choices.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Clubhouse is definitely one of those maps that you can kind of just go autopilot. It seems like the strats are very consistent across the board, regardless of what tier you're playing and whether you're a professional or you're barely starting up in tier five or tier whatever. So Clubhouse is a very comfortable pick. I think I definitely do agree. I wish Nighthaven definitely was there towards the end. But regardless, the map is ready, the players are ready, and I hope you guys are ready too as SpaceShoobs takes on Army of Five in Clubhouse as the first matchup of this stream goes live. And
So walking into the bands, right? Who might we see? What might we see coming out? I think the big one, we're going to talk about it, the shield buff, right? That was the huge part of year 9 season 1, the shields getting an absolute buff. It was sort of to help, even out the very defensive sided of Siege, give a boost to the attackers. What's it done in the ban phase, though? Certainly caused Monty to be a perennial favorite in banning. He hasn't hit the number one spot yet so far in terms of his ban rate, but between him and Ying, they occupy 57% for Ying and 42 for Monty. So certainly they are definitely the two most banned.
yeah, I definitely do agree. Now switching over to the defensive side, Fenrir is going to be one of those operators. I'm expecting one of these two teams to ban. Mira, I'm not gonna lie, it's one of those operators in Clubhouse, especially where, yeah, she's strong and maybe one. You can maybe even say two out of the four sites that's played out in Clubhouse. I personally would have gone with a different defensive ban. Like I said, Defender, Yazami, another ban. Any sort of intel operator would have been a little more sufficient in terms of the ban, but nonetheless, it's it plays out to the strengths of both of these teams and ensuring that each team are not able to utilize their best operators.
Well, and one of the interesting things here, right? If you're, have followed Army of Five, Mira used to be an op that they played very regularly. So to see an Army of Five team ban Mira to me is really an indication that that team has sort of changed the focus, changed the play style. Very much a new team going into this one.
Defenders,
So
protect your bombs from being
On
defused
the
by
other side,
attackers.
we talk about Fenrir and Solus both getting those huge nerfs coming out as part of the Year 9 Season 2. And really it's gotten to the point where you don't see teams using the ban on them anymore, right? It's there's not really a reason at this point to ban them out because the nerf is so big, but not enough to stop playing them as we see Fenrir make the appearance here. I like the use of the traps though coming out. That feels like a great way to start this thing off. It's going to cause this army of five, if they get caught trying to walk
10
into the
seconds
kitchen with
remaining.
those Capcan traps, slow the team down. Then for the rest of
5
these
seconds
first
remaining.
6 rounds, going to be checking every doorway and window just in case.
Yeah,
Attackers
one
are
thing I do
moving
want to
out to
point out is
locate a
the
bomb
fact
and
that
defuse it.
Army 5 decided to swap out one of the two heart breaches that they had available, or in fact, both heart breaches. Both Ace and the Thermire switched off for the Thatcher and the new, I guess, quote unquote, recruit operator that has been reworked for this current season. So I'm interested to see how Army of Five plan on taking on this first round, especially the fact that they're going to the basement side. Spaceships, like you mentioned, the Captain traps all five in the kitchen entryway. It could be a very explosive way to start. And as we say it, Pratt
There
getting the
it
first kill with.
is.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sipsy going down, and now look at this, checking every doorway, and you know that you lost one of the operators walking in the kitchen for sure. You got one of the defenders playing downstairs in armory, looking up. There is a very clever peek downstairs in the basement, looking up at that walk-in from the freezer into the kitchen. Now they're going to be taking a little bit of extra, caution as they walk in there. But you heard that go off. Fuse. I like the fuse pick as well. I'm going to be clearing out all that utility downstairs in the basement, all that breachable floor you got to worry about. But danger is that not any of these C4s from the defense that they can use potentially, or the shots up, like we just saw. K4 coming alive there, taking down Ponage.
Yeah, very strong way for Spaceships to start off this round, getting two quick kills, but it does get countered a little bit, being not getting a kill onto K4, so that's the Fenrir debt. Now, of course, the utility is still active and available for the defensive side to kind of utilize and
Attackers have
work
dropped the
around.
bomb
But with
diffuser.
about 90 seconds to go, Space Shoes still have a good stronghold to this round. But for Army 5, they really got to start picking up the pace if they want to see out this first round win. It's a little difficult to say, though.
Yeah, no, like you called out at the very
Attackers
beginning,
recovered
no
the bomb
dedicated
diffuser.
hard breach
Attackers
coming out
dropped the
here, right?
diffuser.
Using the can openers of the Grim and the Fuse. Grim obviously going
Attackers
down
recovered the
very
diffuser.
early. Not going to be able to use any of those. It was just down to the two we had from Fuse. They've got that kitchen hatch open and certainly looking like they're getting ready for that Moto kitchen drop simultaneously. So just working on clearing out the rest of these defenders. No more cap or no more of those Fuse charges available. We got the push down. And oh
Oh,
no, loses the Thatcher and loses his life. 35 seconds left.
yeah, 30 seconds to go into this round of 4v2 situation in favor of Space Shoes. The angles are definitely not working towards the Fuse and the Ram. At this point, you really want to start wonder and ponder, should they just take this time and really recollect themselves? Shots are coming out from Moto onto the Ram or the Fuse, I believe, and Fuse is
15
down to
seconds
14
remaining.
HP in a dream. 10 seconds to go. The shots are all against in the favor of Space Shoes. C4 lands, and it just comes out to one player, but does not matter. Space Shoes gets the first round. I've got to say, a very good way to start this series.
Yep, coming out good. Good defensive hold. The cap can coming in important there. The sixth man coming out upstairs in the kitchen and definitely slowed the army of five approach down. I mean, we watched the attackers checking those doorways, walking in. Even on the door, where somebody died, they were still worried about it, right? That is just that's a mental block right at the beginning. And besides that, even with all of the vertical play that Army of Five brought out, they had the fuse, they had the
Attackers need to
ram, plenty
locate
of
and
open
defuse
space
bombs.
there in the kitchen. They weren't able to overcome the hold from down in the basement from this team. So now we're going to take a completely different tack, head upstairs to F, the gym bedroom, widely considered either the primary or the secondary site, depending on how the team is played, and bringing out a pretty common set of operators here on the defense to start off with Bandit, Castle, Frost. Throwing a mute there for a little extra breach denial and stopping the drones as they try and assess the situation, trying to get that jacuzzi wall open. It's a good hold here
10
from
seconds
Space
left
Shoops.
before insertion.
Nothing crazy, but it's going to be challenging. Army
5
of Five
seconds
going to have to work
remaining.
very hard to clear out all of that utility.
Yeah, and then Army 5
Attackers'
utilizing the
objective is to
6 pick right
locate a
before the
bomb
end
and
of the
defuse it.
or before the start of the round as the Maverick is being brought on in favor of the Thermite, as well as Ash replaced out for the recruit operator once again. Blackbeard, an operator that you don't necessarily get to see an appearance so often here in Clubhouse, is definitely going to try and utilize the highway windows, or I guess the gym and bedroom windows, to try and cut off the site in half. Maverick is also going to be a very strong operator, as I say that Bean getting the first kill
Whoa.
onto the Frost. And what a way to start this round for Army of Five. Oh, Louis responding again. K4 going down for the count. Pina
No
getting a double
way.
kill
They
into
peek
the
it
round within the
again?
first 30 seconds. Army of Five saying, you may have started this first round hot, but this second
Bomb
round we're going
located
to
by
utilize
attackers.
Nerf Beard. And man, oh man, what a way to start for Army of Five.
Boy, absolutely, completely falling apart there on the defense. I mean, Maverick
Oh,
basically single-handedly getting this team into a position to dominate the spaceships here on defense. Yeah, you've got a little utility coming in here at the very end, but a flawless coming out. Vignot going crazy there, playing the Blackbeard, running the DMR. Um, boy, that just great use of the Maverick on the single.
mhm.
Space Shoes, I think, playing that overly aggressive, right? Maybe coming off of that win in the basement, feeling a little overconfident. That one felt like a very easy win in the basement. Come upstairs, double peak the Maverick holes where you've got the Blackbeard in place after losing one. I'd certainly think you'd say, all right, take a minute,
Attackers
reassess. Don't
need to locate
re-peak
and
that
defuse as
angle
many bombs as
that
they can.
that the attacker had a little bit of advantage on. Was a bad call there by the Space Shoobs. They're gonna try it again though. Bring out a nearly the exact same lineup here with the changeup of Wamai instead. So instead of the Tubarão, they didn't get a lot of utility out of him and his Zoto canisters. So gonna try out the projectile deny instead.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. And as we knock down to the last 15 seconds of the prep phase, Thermite being swapped out once again. And instead of the Maverick
10
being
seconds
plucked,
to insertion.
he's going to be making his first appearance in Clubhouse. And I've got to say, I agree with
5
you. I think
seconds
Space
left.
Shoops, you know, they got the first round. They were feeling overzealous. They were
Attackers
feeling a
must
little
locate and
confident, like you
defuse a
mentioned.
bomb.
But that first peek onto the Maverick, I completely understand. And trying to catch the Maverick off guard, you should be expecting somebody to watch the Maverick rolls as they are being made. But yeah, it was just a very crumbling experience for Spaceshoes. But regardless, they're going back upstairs. Like you mentioned, I'm expecting Army of Five to go for a different take, going for more of the CCTV and Windows take, as Bignot already taking control of the highway windows and Louis already pushing in through rafters. Very quick pace for Army of Five in terms of getting this entry. But a two-man hold over by Cash and Red Stairs is going to be the first line of defense for Spaceshoes.
Yeah, you called it out. This defending team has got to be very careful holding on. They got to hold on to that cash as long as they can because the attackers can get some control of the CC cache area. Then they can certainly hold on to the highway and put pressure on the site from all over. Right, as long as the defenders can hold on to CC, they're the ones that can prevent the highway play. Great play from down below, and then Louis just coming alive. Boy, they are using these DMRs just being deadly today.
Mhm. Yeah, Bubnung does cancel out Louis and Christ downed but not out just yet. As we're now nearing to the 90-second mark of the round. Beautiful utilization from Army of Five using the lion calls to pluck to kind of spread out the two players over on the red and catch side. Phenomenal work coming out from Army of Five, but Spaceships, they're still in it, just in it yet. Now, of course, Frost down to 20 HP. That's going to be a big factor, especially as we start taking down the time. And if Frost is one of the last players alive, it's going to be very concerning for Spaceships to try and walk out of this round with the win. But still about 70 seconds to go. Still ample time. Castle, though, getting the first shots into this last stage.
Yep, the attackers certainly have gained control of construction. They've gained control of highway, and now gained control of Logi. Onage the next one to take down Bub Nugs, and so all up to Frost, like you already called out, down to 60 or 20 HP there. She's able to be cleaned up. Just too many angles, too many pressures here from the attackers. They work on clearing utility at the same time they're clearing players. Made that one look pretty easy as well. So after what looked like a little bit of a rough start on round one for Army of Five on the attack, the quick death of the Capcan trap, and then falling apart trying to play the vertical space down in the basement, they have shown two very good attacks on that 2F site. So that allows this Spaceships team to go back downstairs to the basement in that site rotate and hopefully hold on to what definitely appeared to be one of their stronger sites.
Attackers
Yeah.
need to
The one thing
locate and
about
defuse
Spaceships
the
is
remaining
that
bombs
you've
and
already
mission.
allowed the technical most rounds you want to give the attackers in Clubhouse before your half ends. CCTVs, I want to say it's unplayable, but it's significantly difficult than what it was a couple of years ago when you didn't have all these different hard breach gadgets, the pocket hard breach gadgets, the pocket EMPs. There's a lot of more utility for the attackers to open up that CCTV wall. That Gym and Church are those two must win sites for the defenders. So the fact that Spaceships having to go back down to Armory into the fourth
10
round after
seconds
going
left.
back-to-back losses in Gym, it is not necessarily looking good for Spaceships. I think at this
5
point they're
seconds to go.
salvage the half. A 3-3 split is about the best that they can kind of hope for.
Attackers'
But
objective
for
is to
Army of Five,
locate a
like you
bomb and
mentioned,
defuse
after
it.
that first round, they have been steamrolling their way through Spaceships. The second round just completely demolished them in 30 seconds. The second round, a lot more technical, a lot more time spent to kind of clear these players out. But it seems like Army
Whoa.
of Five are not planning to utilize any time whatsoever as the blitz already in Armory, flashes the Valkyrie, melees the Valkyrie, can to get the kill. Yes,
There's
he
no
can't get
reason to go for
gets
the
the clean
melee
up
there.
easy
Take the
pwnage.
shot. That
Oh
was
my
just.
god. Army of Five just forced their way through, but Spaceships still fighting into this round, but Plant has gone down. Rosso, another kill, a double for the rounds, a 2v2. Plant is down though. Minka pushing her way through the hallway. Can she get one of these two players? Or actually, no, Capkin, but does get cleaned up by Easy Opponent. Just a 1v2 situation. Kaid with the slug shotgun is definitely capable of clearing out 2 players, especially at full health. That's a very phenomenal gun to utilize. But with 20 seconds to go, 13 seconds to kind of get these 2 kills, he's got to start picking up the pace if he wants to kind of salvage his round, trying to bring SpaceShoobs back into the round count. But what a beautiful kill coming out from Chris. 5 seconds left, but it does not matter.
Oh.
Easy Opponent cleaning it up. Another round in a row for Army of 5.
Well, we said right at the end of round 3 that it looked like Army of 5 had picked up a little bit of pace, had really shut down the SpaceShoobs upstairs and taking them back downstairs to the basement of what appeared to be one of their better sites. But you talked about it. Army of 5 had already gotten their 2 attacking wins, already handled their standard split on this map, certainly a 4-2 half in the general defensive area of Siege. But right when you've already won your 2, you're already up. We're only on round 4. Right? They could afford to take some chances, and they certainly did there, trying to catch the SpaceShoobs defense off guard. The blitz runs in secret right down into blue, and then I think feeling the overconfidence, right? Certainly, I don't think Blitz had to go for the shield melee to try and happen in a 2v1 scenario. I think maybe could have made that happen with the gun a little bit faster because he had flashed both of the defenders playing downstairs. So completely falling apart. Army of 5 being very aggressive, certainly catching this team off guard. They're going to be a little bit better prepared for it this time. Bringing out the area denial of the Goyo, that's a great adaptation. Yeah, they had the Valkyrie and the intel from before, but there just wasn't even enough time to even use it. So they're still setting up this site to try and hold on. Maybe a little bit of K tricking there, but that was a great round from Army of 5. And I think it certainly made the SpaceShoobs on notice here for what's going to be the rest of their defensive half.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. One thing I did want to mention about the last round is Binyat getting another kill, another entry kill for Army of 5. K4 out for the count, and the Goyo cannons, luckily enough, are already been placed down. But not a way to start if your SpaceShoobs 30 seconds in, already down to a 4v5. IQ, a great counter to the intel opportunity of the Valkyrie. Now looking good for SpaceShoobs into this 5th round.
Yeah, to lose a man down, like you called it. Yes, you've already got the area denial of the canisters down, passive utility. They're going to be able to do their job late into the round. But yeah, when you've got this much of a lead already, 4v5 with just a few seconds into that round, plus the IQ coming out, clearing out any of that intel utility advantage that you had maybe upstairs. Going to rely on playing that vertical game. That's what SpaceShoobs did really well that first round. So they haven't been able to find that magic again. See whether or not Army of 5 gets a little overconfident and SpaceShoobs can find a way to punish them for that.
Yeah, one thing I do want to point out is I believe Gray was the only one with the pocket heart breach gadget. And unless that kitchen hatch is still solidified and kaided, SpaceShoobs have effective, or K4 for the matter with the C4, have effectively locked out Army of 5 to just staircases. 2, maybe 3 different entry points that Army 5 can really utilize. And with 90 seconds to go, the adaptation is definitely going to have to come out from the A5 roster. SpaceShoobs in phenomenal position, but do they know that they've got a player coming from behind? Absolutely not. Sip getting a kill onto Rock's Prize, though. Let's get the counter onto the Kensu as the C4 goes out. Goy canister does explode over by Secret Staircase. 55 seconds left to go, and it's just now a waiting game on the blue side. Binyat, though, does he see an opening to make for his A5 roster SpaceShoobs in perfect locations? Moto, Armory, as well as Blue Hall. The setup is perfect for SpaceShoobs to take this round away from Army of 5 with 30 seconds to go. It is not looking good, but one good kill from either side can really seal the deal for whatever team. IQ escaping with her life. 25 seconds left to go. Binyat,
how did she survive that?
And he forces his way through Moto. Can he do it? Shoots a couple shots. Thinking up some damage. Kai gets the first kill into the last 50 seconds left to go. Grant with another one. It's all down to Blue Street Sipsy. Can he do it? 10 seconds left. 3 bodies to go. 2. You can kiss him goodbye, but it does not matter. SpaceShoobs have seemingly locked out Army of 5 with the phenomenal C4. Once again, the lack of heart breach gadget is the bane of the existence of the A5 roster.
Wow. Yeah, you called it out when they relied on just secondary utility to try and get some of these the hatches open. It just didn't work out for them, right? Pengu has said it a million times on his broadcast. The most difficult way to traverse levels in Siege is the staircases. You have got to have alternative entry points, right? We didn't see them use dirt. We didn't see any pressure from the attacking team there. uh,
Attackers need to
Not
locate
able
and
to use
defuse
the
the bomb.
hatches because they didn't have any hard breach. Definitely a misstep, I think, from Army of Five. Maybe playing into the overconfidence, but they hadn't wanted to play that style of game so far. So getting shut down definitely helped the Spaceships win one. Army of Five is up three, so the Spaceships are going to try and hold on and maybe secure a 3-3 half. Otherwise, Army of Five going in very, very confidently into a defense here on
Attackers have
Clubhouse
located
now.
a bomb.
I would also expect Spaceships to have, a little bit of
10
confidence
seconds
going into
left
the
before
attack.
insertion.
We've seen them be very good on the attack as well, struggling a little bit
5
in
seconds
AEL this
remaining.
season, but doesn't mean this can't be the game that turns it around.
Attackers are heading out to
Yeah,
defuse
I
the
definitely
bomb.
do agree. And, phenomenal synopsis and analysis of what has been going on for Spaceships up to this point. They have had very close games. They've also been blown out throughout the first three games that they've played out. But the fact that they're going toe to toe with Army of Five, debatably one of the better rosters in the league. Of course, they have dropped already one map, effectively not making them invincible. But Spaceships is showing fight. Spaceships is showing determination to try and steal something from this matchup. Even an OT loss is better than a regulation loss in terms of points. So for Spaceships, I think going into the sixth round, really just got to hold themselves down, five toes down into this last side of the CCTV. But the Capital, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. But who knows? Only time will tell as the first 60 seconds are already off the board.
Interesting choice on the LMG for Capital rather than bringing out the Par 308. Certainly, I mean, widely considered the better weapon. I know we're in a little bit of an LMG meta right now, maybe on the Finca side, circa 2022, with that TSM team that was so good, but it feels like
Oh,
a little bit of a misstep, and unfortunately, not even going to have an opportunity.
Attackers
Roxo
win. Your
going
time to
crazy,
survive.
grabbing a double. Maverick working really hard to work on getting this wall open, finally opening it up with that DMR. But boy, that just took forever to try and get some of that open. You got half the round over, and more than half this attacking
Attackers
team is
recovered the
down.
bomb
So
diffuser.
right now, at least they're going to get one back up. But certainly from a health perspective, Spaceships has got this thing on lockdown and is taking a few extra chances here.
Drop the bomb
They need to
diffuser.
be
yep.
careful about being overly aggressive,
Attackers
but
recovered
great
the
hold,
Mm.
and
diffuser.
I can't believe we saw them double peak that angle again. What a shot. This one, Army of Five, theirs to lose.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. Rocks are going nuclear, like you mentioned, two quick kills, then getting, I believe, another down. It's all down to just the Maverick and the Lion. Lion with the only one
Defender has been
with full
discovered.
HP cleaned out his Christ, cleaning him head off. Bandit going Burr. It's all down to the Maverick in a 1v5, 20 HP in a dream. You might as well kiss him goodbye. Can he get the angle, though? Does clean up one. K4 off the board. Still definitely possible. 30 seconds left. Can he pull off a miraculous comeback? A 1v5. An ace is required for this Maverick. With 20 seconds left, is not looking probable. As Solus, I believe, already knowing where the Maverick's going to be pushing through. Yes, he does. Bubna clean it up in Spaceships, salvaging their first half on the defense, a 3-3 split going into the second half.
Yeah, great round from them. Like you said, salvaging. They made that one work and taking a little bit of an extra chance, playing a little bit more aggressively on defense, right? We're seeing the run out from the top of the platform just outside the main breach, the run out on downstairs, the run out in the garage out through the can opener hole that the attackers made, right? Just good play, but that felt like it
Attackers
was
need to
a little bit
locate
more
and defuse
calculated,
any bombs that they
taking a
can.
few extra risks, but not unnecessary ones. And Army of Five falling victim to some of the same things we saw the Spaceships fall victim to, double peeking an angle that you knew the defenders had on lockdown, had already gotten a kill from. and a lot of downs, right? That one lasted a little bit longer, possibly than it needed to, because saw the spaceships get two different downs that round that were recoverable for Army of Five. So they could have cleaned up those kills, but the
10
downs
seconds
allowed
remaining.
them to survive a little bit longer. But certainly that was a more dominating round from
Five
spaceships.
seconds
Now
left before insertion.
side swap, get to see how Army of Five is going to handle their
Attackers'
defense of
objective is to
Clubhouse.
locate a bomb and defuse it.
Yeah, I think for Army of Five, especially with the core roster that they have, albeit without Chu available for tonight, this core roster has been together for years. I think since the last time that I even casted consistently back in 2022, Postal Gaming at the time you had the core roster up, Binya, Louis, and Chu, and Chu. So the consistency is definitely there. Spaceship's a little more newer in terms of how long they've been together as a team. So I'm expecting Army of Five, especially with that core roster of Binyan and Louis at least, and Kentu as well being added into the mix, to hold down this site and to really seal off this deal in regulation. But Spaceships has also shown us at times that they could definitely show up. Sipsy though, getting the entry kill onto K4, and that's the buck off the board.
Yep, that's the vertical. That's some of that play that's going to make it a little bit easier for all this vertical. Normally, you see that
No.
for the play in the kitchen, but yeah, not going to be an option. They're going to have to rely on the thermite, who's focusing on getting those hatches open, and the sledge. But certainly, sledge has been less favorable, being a little bit slower, and a little bit of danger of being very close to where the breaching is happening, which makes him vulnerable to C4s. Geez, Kensu reading my mind,
The
pulling
attacker's
off the
bomb
C4
diffuser has
kill
been
there, and
dropped.
Spaceship's absolutely getting shut down.
I'm out of words as Louis cleaning up the round for Army of Five. What really had me speechless is not the injury kill. It's the fact that Binya was managed to go from the top floor down the main staircases through bar and then back down to basement to the actual site with minimal damage being done to him. Spaceships had ample chances to close down that dock. Really might have not helped out the round with the C4 flying out and then just the countless amount of action. But spaceships are making minimal mistakes in that clearance, and it enabled Army of Five to run around freely in debatably one of the smallest maps in the competitive pool. It is
Defenders,
unbelievable
protect your
and
bombs from defuse.
inexcusable in the
5
fact that
seconds.
spaceships allowed Army of Five to roam freely, and they were just getting picked off one after another.
Generally, we talk about Clubhouse being a defensive sided map. So we said walking into this one that we would see the defense, ending up at the halfway point. Definitely, this seems like it's in favor of Army of Five here as we head into round eight. Yes, they're up by one round, but in general, they
10
have
seconds left.
controlled the pace of this game, both on attack and on that first round of defense that we've
5
seen so
seconds to
far.
go.
So Space Shoes had a couple moments of brilliance, had a couple great rounds in there,
Attackers are
two
moving out to
specifically
locate
that
a bomb
first
and
and
defuse it.
sixth, but they have struggled on most of the rest. So got to find a way to be more consistent, find an opening entry, convert that into a round win, try and hold on a little bit longer here. And now that they're in the basement, coordinated attack, and got to hold on to some of this hard breach to make sure that they can get those hatches. Maybe a little bit of pressure there from Dirt, trying to put some pressure on this team.
Yeah. I definitely do agree as the extension is being made from Army of Five, utilizing the immune jammers to really limit the intel that Spaceships is obtaining. 30 seconds already gone into the round, and for the most part, Spaceship really trying to analyze and see what is the best way to tackle this, CCTV green, um, green side push. And Bubna does get the injury kill onto Luz. That's a big kill. The hotbox comes
Oh,
out, but Binyat cleaning him up. Bubna countered out once again. A 4v4 in terms of man count, but in terms of health, Spaceships are definitely in the back foot with already a minute down to the round. Good first stage for Spaceships, but they really got to start upping the tempo if they want to win this round.
this is feeling very one-dimensional. We talked about, I think we
Mhm.
would have loved to have seen them put a little bit of extra pressure on this attacking team. Really no focus on Jacuzzi, a little bit on Highway, but it's feeling very one-dimensional, this push across
Bomb located
Conside,
by
right?
attackers.
Yes, Conside take, but I mean, you've got to have a little bit of ghost pressure around this map to give something else for the defenders to try and watch out for, split the focus, put some pressure on
Ooh.
them. So this
Oh,
not feeling like it's working
Attackers
out,
bomb
and then a
diffuser
oh.
has been
C4
dropped.
and a double coming out from below. Army of Five has got the vertical play on lockdown tonight for sure.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. As Rockstar does get one kill back, so it's a 1v3 with 60 seconds to go. Still
Attackers
a winnable
recover the
position for
diffuser.
this ace, but he's got to take on these ones. Two, though, stacked over in logistics. Can he peek out any sort of player? He knows that the bandit might be hiding behind the half wall. Can he shoot through the breach? Absolutely not. Easy ponage. Pulling out the good old pistol from the dock, and another round win coming out from Army of Five as they inch themselves closer and closer to a regulation win.
Oof. 5v3. Yeah, looking good here for this Army of Five team to start off on their defensive half. Again, controlling the pace. That one felt very one sided. Yeah, the spaceships tried to hold on there at the end, but they're going to need to come up with something special here as we try out the tertiary site. The 2FCC cache definitely used to be one of the more primary sites here
Mhm.
on Clubhouse,
Attackers
but
need to
certainly
locate
fallen
and
out of
defuse
favor
as many bombs
recently.
as they
So,
can.
can SpaceShoobs find a way to make that win? One of the main ops that we saw be very successful on this, Monty not available, but SpaceShoobs not choosing to use a different shield to try and fill in that gap. They're going to stick with a little bit more conventional lineup. Interestingly, Ayana is one operator that really at the start of year 9, with the nerf on her and the change out from the Loda, completely dropped off the board. I mean, we rarely see her played anymore, plus the zero. So those are a little bit two of the off picks.
10 seconds
So
left.
see this Ace Sledge Ash round that one out. But the Doc on the
5 seconds
defense,
left
the
before insertion.
Malusi, a little bit investment in the slowdown, the area denial from smoke.
Attackers
I
must
think
locate
I
and
think it's a
defuse
good
the bomb.
roster from the Army of Five side as well.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. The only thing that really concerns me with spaceships is something that I noted a little bit with Army of Five is how limited they are in hard breach gadgets. Of course, Buck has the possibility of bringing the hard breach secondary, which he does. So you've got a total of five different, canisters or placeables to open up these hard breach walls, but very limiting, especially if you have a player like Easy who may be very good at tricking at K tricking. The possibility is there, but the stacking of the Thatcher EMPs is also there. Roxa though getting the entry kill onto Louis, and that is a big player as well. One of the earliest picks for the defensive side, not a good
Bomb
look,
diffuser
especially with
has been
just
dropped.
how much his
Attackers
utility
recover the diffuser.
is seen, how strong he gets as time progresses.
Yeah, I mean, the team just didn't, it looked like
Bomb
the
located
only
by attackers.
impact gadgets that they had was Wamai. He goes down. Yeah, basically they're relying on the Cade trick to try and hold on to some of that main wall, but they've got it opened up. Really, at least you need at a bare minimum those sight lines in to be able to put some pressure on this defense. But right now, still feeling like controlled on the
Oh,
defensive side. So the attackers, Bubnug finding one. That right now feels like the first time we're seeing them have a little bit of an advantage. It is the tertiary site. This should be the one they've got the best opportunity to win. Need to see spaceships come alive here in the second half of this map, the
yeah,
second half
Binion
of
just
this
trying to see if
round
he
to
can.
find one, two, or three.
Binion attempted to clear out the vertical presence of the Ash, and but unsuccessful. Down to a 2v4 Buck. Still laying hell from below. 60 seconds to go. The smoke canisters are only two in the pocket left for for Army of Five. It is definitely possible. 60 seconds to go. Now another canister off the board. You've got one smoke canister to deny entry point, to deny any sort of plan attempt from spaceships. Army of Five are looking slim. They're looking like they're fighting for their lives. Easy gets cleaned out, but smoke now in a 1v3,
Wow.
6 HP and a dream. He can definitely do it. Kensu getting one. He knows that one player is already holding the breach hole. Two coming in from cash. It is definitely a winnable position. Three 1v1s he's got to
Attackers are
take, and
activating
this
the
Oh, they
diffuser.
shot it.
is unsuccessful.
Position
Oh
occupied.
no, crap. Getting the last kill onto the player in spaceships, winning another round. But like you said, the smoke canister shot from the sky. Unfortunate.
Yep. That one went really well from the space tube side. Like we said, their best opportunity on the tertiary site was hopefully the one that they absolutely needed to win. Army of Five, the round rotate done. They get to go back to the primary two sites, which they had won so far, been successful on defense. So SpaceShooters is going to have to find ways, try and find some adaptations that they need to make here,
Attackers need to
put some more
locate and
pressure on.
defuse
So you
bombs.
talked about lack of hard breach as one of the downsides that we saw in the Army of Five attack, really caused them to lose two of those rounds. So SpaceShooters, at least this time, bringing along the ace, and Bub, at least right now, looking like he wants to bring out the sledge again. That's an interesting pick considering Buck has certainly been the better attacking operator. But along with that, again, I like the deny of Kaid for those hatches, right? We've seen both of these teams struggle
Hmm.
with getting the
10
hatches
seconds
open.
left.
Go ahead and bring out the Cade and make that a little bit
5
more
seconds remaining.
difficult. And not going to do any tricking here. Not going to set them up in any interesting places.
Attackers'
But
objective is to
just
locate a
going to have
bomb
to
and
use
defuse it.
utility to clear them out.
Yeah, one thing I do also want to point out is the fact that IQ was selected for just about the entirety of the prep phase, up and towards the end of it, to switch off onto the gridlock. So, could that switch be the ultimate downfall of Space Fusion going into this 10th round? Only time will tell. Louis, though, ensuring
Oh,
that Crowd has no influence whatsoever. Nomad off the board within the first 30 seconds. A phenomenal way for Army of Five to start off this round.
yeah, doubling up on that flank watch, that flank now. I think they were expecting the Army of Five team to bring a more roam heavy presence here. A
Mhm.
more of a not just an extension, but a real roam presence, and wanting to bring out the flank operators. So they still have got the gridlock, even though Nomad is
Um,
down. But a ton of action happening here
um,
on the first floor. There you go, and
oh,
another one. K4 going crazy. We're only a minute into this round.
Yeah, 3v3. And one thing I do want to say, Roxa, though, getting another kill before I even have any time to sort of break down what just happened. Louis was sitting in stage, had ample opportunities to clear out two, maybe even all three players from that cash-sided push. Unfortunate positioning coming down. Spaceships in a phenomenal position. 3v2 situation. 90 seconds left to go. The talk getting shot from a pixel or from Secret. It is definitely a possibility. Kensu, though, does bring the man count back into even Stevens. A C4 from below cries off the boards, all down to the gridlock and the zero. With about 90 seconds to go, it is still a winnable position for either side. It's going to come down to who can solidify, who can really pick out these kills. And one thing I do want to mention is the cam in Secret is still undetected. So the defense already knows, okay, spaceships, they're pushing it from one side only. We hear the barbed wire going off. It is definitely a winnable position. They've got all the intel in the world for spaceships.
Yeah, and the pace of the game certainly slowing down. It was a fast and furious first minute of the round as we saw six of the players go down initially, or at least the top four. The 2 minutes after that certainly has slowed down to this point, but Doc coming in clutch for the defense, fully stemmed back. Going to be exactly what they needed to try and hold down this push down blue. Got the gridlock in place, but not going to have
Oh
to worry
no.
too much about the flank at this point. And Kensu going to find a double. Boy, with 20 seconds left, it's looking very good for Army of Five.
Yeah, it's a very unfortunate situation that Spaceship is just down to one player. The zero does get one, though. One
Okay.
situation. Does he know that the dog is an armory? He shoots, pulls out the pistol, doesn't have to let down the shot, but no! Beanyat looking away from the other side of the box. K4 salvaging around. And look at this, Whiskey. Look at this.
Hip
A
fire.
5-5. Oh, my Lord.
All right, I'll be honest, I was not expecting that. The way that Army of Five have been controlling the pace of the game, you're going to come up with two attacking rounds in a row for SpaceShoobs, and I mean K4 obviously the hero of that round. A little bit of individual heroics to get them to this point, a triple there to advance them in. So a lot of action happening upstairs. They were expecting that extension, and from the defense,
Defenders,
and
protect your
rather
bombs
than
from being
needing to
defused
use
by
the
attackers.
the flank watch operators. They just went ahead and got the kills upstairs, putting a ton of pressure. So Army of Five going to go ahead and defend the basement again, bringing out a fairly similar lineup. We'll see whether or not Space Shoes brings the IQ or they stick with a similar lineup that they had. But I like the Legion, and this time bringing out the Jaeger for a little bit of that projectile deny. It's a good lineup.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. And zero, coming out once again, the IQ sticking around as well.
10 seconds
I
to go.
mean, the only concern I have is the amount of heart breach that SpaceShoobs is bringing into this round.
5
I
seconds
know
left.
last round wasn't really too much of a deficit just because of how rampant that
Attackers must
the
locate
first
and defuse the
minute
bomb.
was. Both teams just going at each other. Both teams taking out role playing operators. And it just came down to just 2v2
The attacker's
or
bomb diffuser
1v2.
has been
But
dropped.
easy pwnage, unlikely, does not really matter. Roxo getting cleaned off the board, and there it goes. The heart breach
Not
of Ace
again.
off the board and is only down to K4 and the two pocket heart breach gadgets to open up the ample amount of reinforced walls and hatches that Army 5 has set up for themselves.
I mean, I've lost track at this point how many spawn peaks and entry kills we've seen this Army of Five team get. I think that's up to 5 now in 10 rounds. So just about half of the rounds here, they've seen an opening entry or spawn peak kill. So certainly
Attackers
playing
recovered the diffuser.
aggressively, and spaceships just not watching for it, not checking for it, and even bringing along the doc to make sure that even if their operator did it take a little bit of a loss, was resurrected back up, but
Oh
no way they're
no!
almost got a double off it. K4 thought we were going to see him go crazy again, but he's down 3v3. Minute 45 left in the round. Plenty of time for the attackers. All the defenders now rotated back down to hold the basement.
Yeah, I mean, or who was it? Beanyard almost clearing out two heads. What a way to set us up to the second half of this 11th round. Spaceships, they've been really fighting and really ensuring
Attackers
that
have
they keep
located a
it
bomb.
as close as possible to a much stronger side of Army of Five. Now, Army of Five bunkered down. They're in the favorable defensive setup. They're in the favorable, one of the more favored defensive sites in Clubhouse, so it is definitely a winnable position for Army of Five. But we saw them in the similar position last round. Only it was a 2v2.
Oh,
Only
bad
now
toss.
there's no Doc. There's nothing to save him. There's nothing to give him any more heals. But what a swing coming out from EZ as Bubnug off the board, and that is the first body to fall within the last 60 seconds. Grenade, let's fly out, forcing him off from behind the generator. And oh my Lord, Thatcher, hit your shots. This cage
What
is
is
towing
this?
him. The cage
Is
is
he having a
towing
ping
him.
issue? Boy, I mean, just looking like he just did not have the reaction time there to be able to win that gunfight. That was unfortunate. Had, like you said, toying. He had 3 shots at that, defending downstairs in the basement, but just lost all of them. And boy, was that a C4 coming out at the same time?
Yep, a C4 and just Jaeger standing
There goes the
10
last
toes
one.
down and tall. Yep, 10 seconds to go. Swing comes out from the Jaeger. Thatcher
10
unable
seconds
to hit any sort of shot. And at this point, Army of Five are just pulling out the secondaries. They know they've got the round in the bag. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Army of Five is set themselves up to
Operators,
a
you are out
match
of time.
point up against Spaceships here in Clubhouse. Spaceships are definitely looking like they're going to lose this one, but one round separates them from a loss and an OT potential matchup here in Germany. I've got to say, Army 5 played phenomenally that last round.
That's right. Yeah, felt not really the same level of control and dominance that we saw in some of the previous rounds, but certainly shutting down the attackers as they tried to make that last push in. Chris definitely struggling a little bit there at the end of the round. I mean, we were into 3v1 situation with everybody knowing exactly where you were. Decided to not take the rotate, just
Attackers need to
continue to try and
locate and
fight on the
defuse the
stairs.
bomb.
Didn't work out to his advantage. So their last opportunity to try and hold on Army of Five on that match point scenario. So we're in round 12, one more round. So certainly winnable here by SpaceShoobs to find a way, keep this one and send it into OT. Now, the point system here for AEL, know that going to OT affords even the losing team points. So certainly that's what they want to do. They want SpaceShoobs want to force this to OT, even if they lose, they get some points for it. So Army
10
of Five
seconds
trying to
remaining.
stop that and hold on to the maximum number available here in AEL Week
5
3.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. And, Spaceships, if they were to go to OT, it'll at least put them to three
Attackers are
points
moving out to
across four
locate a
games.
bomb and
Now,
defuse it.
not necessarily one of the greatest positions to be in, especially going into, this last week prior to our our off week. So they've really got to be looking and seeing if they can at least salvage 2 points into this round. But like you mentioned, Army of Five looking to get the maximum 3 points. Spaceships, if they lose this one, that's another half point match out of 4 games. Only one game has you've been given even a semi full point. It's not looking good for Spaceships into the season, but nonetheless, we've still got a little over 2 minutes to go into this last round of regulation. Army of Five are going to look to hold strong in gym and bedroom, but only time will tell if Spaceships can salvage anything.
Yeah, that's right. And we're seeing them
Oh,
work on, I was going to say, seeing them work on getting the sight lines open, spending the utility in the right place. Got to get that jacuzzi wall open and now gained a little bit of control here in order to hold on to highway. So Vignat making that push back in from the cache into the CC area to put some pressure on the highway windows. I thought that the spaceships had control of that area, but sort of giving it up at that point, letting Doc just waltz his way back in, gaining some of that control. So got to try and hold the defenders in place. No, you have the flank watch of the Nomad. You need to get her in a position to use it and try and prevent that pushback from the defense.
yeah, I definitely do agree. Yes, the 90-second mark has hit. The Spaceships have effectively forced Army of Five out of the cache and CCTV side of the map. So they're all pretty much bunkered down in on point. Now, with the beautiful way to start off this second
Oh
half,
wow!
round Roxo going good nuclear. Roxo 2 kills into
Bomb
that.
located
It is
by
now
attackers.
down to a
The
2v5
attacker's bomb
situation.
diffuser
Army
has
of
been
Five in a
dropped.
position
Attackers
to be
recover
going
the
to
bomb
overtime.
diffuser.
Not necessarily what they want to do, but easy though. Bringing it one back. Roxo does clean him out. Triple kill for the round for the man of Roxo. And it's all down to Louis. Can he
What?
land the shots? He's missing all the shots in the world. It does not matter. Bumnug cleaning it up. And ladies and gentlemen, I did not expect this coming into this matchup, but we're going to overtime here in Clubhouse.
Nope, if you had told me back at the start of round 9 that we were going to be going to overtime, I would have said you're crazy and bet against you on that one, the way that Spaceships had been playing, but certainly coming alive there, winning round 9, 10, and then 12 to send it to OT. So they at least, both of these teams, securing some points here for the AEL season. Now, going back downstairs to the basement, was going to say we don't really have an
Attackers need to
idea of
locate
which
and
team
defuse
had an
bombs.
advantage. They both gone 3-3 on their halves, both sides. And the one thing that I love here coming out, and I know if Whiskey Glitter was here, he'd say the same thing, but Sipsy bringing out the Rook. Rook consistently one of those operators that,
Bomb
at
located
least
by
in the
attackers.
ranked pools, has one of the highest win delta percentages season after season. He's not played very often, but when he is, there is a statistical difference in your ability to win the round. So we'll see whether or not that translates into a
10
competitive
seconds
setting
left.
here. Army of Five trying to go for the win, at least take their
5
first
seconds
round
to
on
insertion.
defense here. They won 3 so far. And Basement was a site that went
Attackers are
back and
moving to
forth.
defuse a
A5
bomb.
won it, the Shubes won it, A5 winning the third time that they played it. So Basement not feeling like a powerhouse at this point that you can guarantee. But of course, none of the sites are.
Oh, no, I definitely do agree. Just the way that the game has evolved over the last 12 to 18 months, it has forced, stakehold and stronghold defensive setups to really experience some sort of like test that not necessarily all of them were passing with flying colors. A lot of the defensive setups really decreasing in the win percentage, win rate. it it's looking like the game is a lot more balanced in terms of the attacking and defensive win rates. Now, of course, there's some maps and there's some sites where it is damn near impossible to attack just because of the amount of angles that you've got to really watch out for. But I really do like the fact that both of these teams in that basement side have been going back and forth. Even if one side wins, it comes out to a very dicey situation, but it doesn't matter how dicey it gets. Louis, with the entry kill within the first minute onto Rocks, and we win absolutely crazy in the last round.
Even with Army of Five taking more of those opening entries, taking some of those spawn peaks, They have been very consistent in winning those. They haven't always translated them into round wins. So even though we're seeing spaceships go down 4v5, minute left or half the round left at this point, doesn't feel like that is quite
Oh,
enough. I don't have the confidence yet to say that they can win this one. Got to find a way. So you've got Striker. We haven't talked about him a
oh
lot as
no.
as one of those operators, but Louis grabbing a double and putting another one of those Legion Goose down at the bottom of red, getting a little bit of control here as the attackers try and push their way up. But it's a 4v3, minute 10 left.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. 60 seconds to go, and Louis is just wasting all the time in the world for K-Rat. K-Rat unable to land any sort of shot, does not see the fact that the Legion walked in front of his crosshair. Unfortunate situation, and of course, Legion, now Louis, in a perfect position to pretty much just waste all the time in the world, but does get killed.
Okay.
Does not matter though. Beignet gets the refrag almost instantaneously. A 1v3, 45 seconds left to go. K-Rat is in prime position to really become a savior for this team, but for Army of Five, they are just in waiting position. They have set themselves up for a perfect way to send off this 13th round. Barbed wire sending up all the comms. Reinforcement does go down. It does not matter. Beignet cleaning up the last player alive for SpaceShoobs. And once again, Army of Five on match point.
We didn't really get a chance to talk about Stryker there. It's one of the things that when he was introduced, you heard the developers talk about Stryker. They're bringing out the Impact EMPs and the Hard Breach gadget together as the solo hard breacher, right? Able
Mhm.
to deny any of that breach denial utility and able to open up the hard breach all by himself. But wasn't really used in that way, right? It felt like eh, we talked
Attackers need to
about that
locate
being
and
a
defuse
great
as many bombs
option
as they can.
for the recruit to bring out, but it didn't feel like Space Shoops is using him in the right way, right? It's a basement site. What are the potential places that you might need it? Yeah, maybe the hatches, but I think there would have been better combos to bring out, could
Mm.
help them win better than that recruit. I think teams are still trying to find when's the right time to use them, where's the right place, but maybe in a scrim, maybe, not when you're on overtime match point here on a league round. Didn't feel like the right place to try it out because
10
it didn't
seconds
feel
remaining.
like they were using it, cohesively as the team.
5
Army
seconds
5
left.
coming up with another win, 6-7. It's their overtime match point here.
Attackers must locate and defuse the
Spaceships
bomb.
got one more opportunity to try and win this one and send it to double OT.
And the Goyo find a place to put this last canister. Only time will tell. Maybe you'll catch us in the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. But no, I definitely do agree. I think I agree with everything you said about Striker. I think teams are still trying to find, like you mentioned, they're still trying to find a way to fit him into the meta. They're trying to find a way to incorporate him in the lineups. But like, there's nothing to rebuttal. There's nothing that I can possibly say that can be, oh, well, maybe Striker could be, it is a good time to be testing out Striker, but it really isn't. Especially if you're spaceships, especially knowing that you have not won a single game going into this matchup just yet. Trying to try out new operators, trying to force, some sort of new style into a system that may have already been ironed out prior to the new season. It's not it's not something you want to do. It's something you want to test out, like you mentioned, in strats, in practices, in scrims, so on and so forth. But that's enough rambling. That's enough talk for now. But Pratt getting another kill onto with the cap
No.
cannon is just a flurry
A bomb
of
has been
bodies
located.
dropping faster than I can even speak. A 3v3 now down to a 2v3. Sipsy getting a kill onto K4 to Blitz, getting
What?
absolutely blown away. A 2v2 within the last 90 seconds. And my, oh my, spaceship now down to just one player. 90 seconds to go, but it does not even matter. Army of Five steamrolled their way through Clubhouse. Finally, an 8-6 victory for the boys of Army of Five. And what a way to end it with a Blitz Rushdown secret.
Yeah, I was going to talk about the fact that on that previous round, you saw this Army of Five team. They brought the Rook on defense, and they won the round. They made that one work. So the Rook win delta coming up big there, but followed up by the exact same strat we saw on round 4 when Army
Hmm.
of Five playing attack brought the blitz downstairs, made the push, and completely overwhelmed the Shoobs. Happened again, just unable to adapt and make that one work. So unfortunately, they fall. Fortunately, though, they made it to OT. They gained at least 1 point there as part of their AEL standing. So at least they made it that far. But big GG's obviously to the Army of Five team winning here on Clubhouse tonight.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Just the way that Army of Five was able to just you know capture the moment when they needed to capture. When SpaceShoobs seemed to have been getting this sort of momentum, they flipped the switch. They just forced themselves in. They really incorporated this sort of like Furia like essence in the attacks and even on the defense. Just the way that they were spawn picking, the way they were getting these injury kills almost every round in this 14 round match. It's just phenomenal work coming out from Army of Five with a substitute in mind. Spaceships, like you mentioned, they lose again. They're now down to 0-4. I think they're now up to two, like 3-4 points across 4 games.
Yeah,
It really
unfortunate.
is not looking good for either for at least for Spaceship, but for Army of Five. Another big win.
We do have another game though, like we said at the start,
Yep.
doubleheader tonight, and we're going to get to see Chaos Esports taking on One Up Esports here in the next game. So we're going to go ahead and take a few minutes, get that lobby set up, get those teams ready, and then bring you the second game tonight.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to AEL Season One Reloaded. My name is Alien. I'm still here with my boy Whiskey Run. We had a phenomenal game last game where we had A5 taking on SpaceShoobs in Clubhouse in an 8-6 thriller. But we've already covered that just enough. Now we're going to be focusing on the more entertaining game, I believe, or the more anticipated game. One Up Esports going up against Chaos.
That's right. Chaos Esports taking on One Up, and these two teams both sort of fighting for potentially that playoff spot. We're still pretty early in the season, but they are really sort of in that mid area of the group, so every point matters. Right now, One Up definitely struggling. They have been struggling, one of the only teams lower in the standings than the Space so they absolutely need a win tonight. Chaos working to stay in that top 2 in their group, so they're on a little bit more of a grind at this point, so, like, you
Mhm.
can see these guys we have casted them before and been a part of this league. Like you said, it very much looking forward to see this match tonight.
Yeah, in terms of like just the way that both of these teams are performing in AEL so far, it's a very yin and yang feel. One side is blossoming, very minor hiccups here and there, but for the most part, they have been performing week in, week out throughout every play that they have played so far. On the other coin, or on the other side of the coin, to say, it's been very inconsistent, very up and down, very one game they'll play phenomenal. They're either steamroller, have a very contested win, but the next game it almost seems like they forget how to play the basics. So it's really going to be interesting to see how both of these teams are going to be coming into this matchup. I'm hoping for a very contested, a very close matchup like what we had last game with Spaceships and Army of Five. I am still kind of leaning towards Chaos to take this matchup. I'm still indifferent in terms of the round count. I think it's going to be a very close regulation win, but the possibility of overtime is there.
That's right. That Spaceship A5 game got much closer, I think, than either of us expected at the
Yeah.
start. And really it was a bit of a roller coaster, right? Talked a lot about Army of Five having some dominance there in the first half. Spaceship shut them down, ended up 3-3, 3-3 half both times, sending us to OT, both of them gaining some points. Chaos, One Up want to see the same thing, but not going to see the same thing specifically on the map ban side. Tonight, we're going to get to see not Clubhouse, not Nighthaven. Like I said, unexpected that we see Nighthaven so often in the competitive play, but not seeing it here. The most played map in AEL so far, Chalet, and it's going to be our decider here for game 2 tonight.
Yeah, well, Chalet, in my opinion, was one of my more favorite maps to play when I played in competitive back in the days of I was about to make a biblical reference, but I don't have any. Adam and Eve, there we go. Back in the days of Adam and Eve, I used to love playing Chalet. I used to love going into the snowy mountains, playing over by the piano in the library hall. The way that you can attack Chalet, even now, it's very interesting to see. You can push your way through different angles, whether regardless if you want to come into snowmobile, whether you want to go into main garage, K9, piano, even trophy on the other side of the map. Chalet offers so much variability, regardless of setup, regardless of what site you're attacking. So I'm very excited to see how both of these teams decide to play this map out.
Yeah, and Chalet is one of those maps that so far we have seen a wide variety of strats in the way that each of the sites is held. And not only that, but also a difference in the way that sites are selected, right? We have seen teams that very much favor the 2F standard holds. We've seen very much teams that favor the 1F vertical play. So, right, it's a map that so far I don't feel like has really been solved so much as some of the other maps in the competitive pool where you see very similar strats every single round. These ones even between levels of play, see very different ways that the map is played, very different ways the game is played. So that makes it interesting. That makes it fun. Still trying to find ways to win. And One Up going to start off with banning Ying. Talked about her being the number one banned operator here in AEL and basically every other league
Ooh.
that we get a chance to be a part of. The big change upcoming though, no shield gonna be banned, but Brava Brava has got a tremendous amount of utility on Chalet. There are several drone holes very close to the places that defensive utility being played. I think makes her a very strong operator, and Chaos recognizing it and taking her off the board.
Yeah, Bravo, very strong operator, like you mentioned, but Azami, not a surprise here. I believe in Shallower, just about in any map on as a defensive ban, it is a very standard ban. She is, leveled. I think has leveled, maybe even eclipsed the ban rate in comparison to Mirror, who at one point was the most banned. There you go, one of the most banned defensive operators in any map of Siege, and the fact that Mirror is not being played out as well. It is very expected bans, especially in Chalet. Mirror, in my opinion, one of the strongest defensive operators to bring. And I think 3 of the 4 sites here in Chalet. And I want to say that I don't know if you might agree to my statement, but Chalet is one of the few maps in the competitive pool where all 4 defensive sites are playable and are winnable. It it offers such a strong defensive game that it almost impresses me whenever I see like a 3-3 split, just
Attackers need
because
to
of the
locate and
just how
defuse the
strong
bomb.
each of the 4 sites are in Chalet.
Yeah,
Bomb
you
located
make a
by
good point,
attackers.
right? We see sometimes that we talk about the basement being a little bit more difficult, but it's not that it's unplayable, right? It's not the bar stage of Clubhouse. Like you said, all four sites very playable on this map. So it's a great point. And the way we're going to see this one played out on the defensive side, bringing out some of that intel. And I know again, if Glitter was here, he'd tell you Frost again. I don't think there has been a single map of Chalet that we've had a
10
chance to
seconds left
cast where
before
Frost
insertion.
isn't played. Definitely a staple as part of this
5 seconds to
Chalet
go.
map. So many places and opportunities for the attackers to jump in, sort
Attackers'
of raising
objective
her
is to defuse
utility
the
up a
bomb.
little bit. But this hold, a lot of defensive operators and
Hmm.
utility set upstairs for this first floor site.
Yeah, one thing I do want to point out from Chaos is them not bringing the Flores. Now, of course, not many teams even utilize Flores as much as they should. In my opinion, Flores is one of the best attackers to bring in this sort of setup. The library blue hall extension. There's a drone hole in bar hall. You can go up through blue stairs, and you can completely neutralize the library stairs setup with just one Flores drone. And if you go undetected, it's a big gain for the attackers. But instead, they're opting to bringing a more conventional, more modern style of attack, the Capital, the Blitz, IQ. Glass, a very questionable pick, but they're players. I'm just a caster. And then Buck, of course, a staple operator that has been alive since forever. And Blitz is just steamrolling their way through Coot, getting the first kill, and then
What?
Valkyrie stealing the kill away from
Loses the
Blitz.
fight.
One up, stealing a kill from the hands of Chaos, and Chaos is speaking into the name. A chaotic round to start off here in Chalet, a 3v5 within the first minute.
Oh, Selkie, that was unfortunate. Got the flash down on the Valkyrie, and unfortunately, she wins that fight. Looking very good. I got to be honest there. I thought that Chaos had the strategy. They brought along the Capital paired with the Glass. That's a very dangerous combo, especially when you're playing upstairs, trying to clear out the player, playing in library corner. But the Blitz being aggressive, jumping in. But wow, one up on an absolute tear right now. I thought we were going to see the flawless, the TK coming out. I don't know if this is going to count. Not statistically as a flawless, but no
It's about as
attacker
flawless as you can
taking
get.
down a defender.
About as flawless as you can get, honestly. Like it,
Wow.
Chaos brought their name into fruition. It was a chaotic round. It was just pure chaos from the moment that Blitz just ran his way through out what snowmobile up snowmobile stairs into a bar and then bar stock and then Valkyrie's. I still don't understand how the Valkyrie got the kill. Blitz had every opportunity to get that free kill. I think if that, I'm not saying it would have changed the round too much, but I think that kill would have
Attackers need to
definitely
locate and
changed the way
defuse bombs.
the outcome, the ending of that round. It could have been a lot closer. It could have been even a chaos round for the most part because Blitz would have taken control of Bar stock. They would have had Bar pretty much to themselves, and it would have been a full retake for one up esports. But instead, just beautiful responses coming out from the defensive side. Chaos, I think it was one of those one and done situations where they're just going to run in, guns blazing, hoping for the best.
It's sort of when Blitz was played downstairs in the basement on Clubhouse, and we talked about the fact that, um, Blitz
10
went for
seconds
the
to go.
shield bash as opposed to the gun kill in that situation when he had an operator flashed.
5 seconds
That one
remaining.
made sense to use your gun. In this case, he in Blitz
Attackers'
certainly
objective is
should
to
have
locate a
gone for the
bomb and
shield
defuse it.
bash on Valk. Wasn't sure whether or not
Attackers
she
dropped the
was
diffuser.
flashed at that point,
Attackers
but
recovered the
dropping the
diffuser.
shield in order to go for the shot, I think opened up his right side available for the melee from Valk. So just not working out in their favor. But the big thing here on the defensive side, bringing out the Maestro. And, you know, even though Chaos was the team that banned the Brava, One Up going to take advantage of the fact that some of that utility is safe, right? It's one of the big
Mhm.
reasons we see Brava played and subsequently banned on Chalet is sort of the rise in Maestro helping to hold specifically the kitchen dining site. He's really got a bit of a powerhouse there and potentially in the basement later on. But without Brava, you can play the Maestro with a little bit more confidence and a little bit more safety. One Up going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. It, just the way that One Up has decided to bring into this next round, holding the kitchen side, but extending upstairs, it is a very standard style of defensive hold, a very onion-like setup. You force the attackers to utilize as much, you know, utility as possible as one of the floors runs. One of the operators I mentioned last round, already clearing out the shield on the piano. You want to force the attackers to peel you back, but utilizing just as much utility as possible. With Selko, though, does get the kill onto 9 core, but instantly refried by, funny enough, Frag. A 4v4 within the 90 seconds into the round. Gotta say, Chaos, they've got the good tempo, but One Up Esports are holding their own upstairs. And it is really going to delay Chaos as time
Attackers
progresses.
have located a bomb.
And you talked about the Flores. Flores, a fantastic operator. We have certainly seen a huge rise in his play on Chalet, specifically lots of opportunities to try and clear out important pieces of defensive utility. And we saw there at the end also clearing out the defensive operators themselves, pushing that team back, out of that site, out of the office and master bedroom, directly over site. The interesting thing is we're not seeing the attackers have presence on the solar stairs to try and take advantage of the fact that the defenders are being pushed out of position. That feels like a big miss. Good use of utility, good use of the Flores on the attacker side, but not following it up with a push from the solar side as well, even from a phantom pressure, but certainly from the ability to try and get some kills on this defense. I think was a big miss from that team. We're still 4-4. We've got 20 seconds left though, so it's about to get
Attackers
crazy.
bomb
Oh,
diffuser has
ooh,
been
ooh. Yeah, as you say, going crazy it is. One Up Esports into a 3v2 situation, 15 seconds left. Sledge still playing from below. Flores is going to be the one to try and go for the plant, but it doesn't even matter.
Wow.
Frag, a triple kill onto the round, and Koo cleaning it up. What another round from One Up Esports. Just the way that they forced Chaos to kind of peel the back. It didn't even peel the onion all the way. And unfortunately for Chaos, they're going to be going into this third round with a little tear in their eye. But for One Up Esports, another phenomenal hold.
Yep, taking advantage of the fact that the Bravo's not there, using that to their advantage, and also taking advantage of the fact that it just not good positioning from the attackers, not able to hold the other side of the map right as you're pushing the defenders out of position. Certainly should have been able to use
Attackers
that to
need to
their
locate
advantage.
and defuse as
Now,
many
on this
bombs as they
case,
can.
you're going to see them go downstairs to the basement. We talked about another opportunity potentially for the Maestro, but certainly, the big one coming out, Vigil. Not going to be bringing the Boss G though, which sometimes that's a definite trade-off. Who are you feeling more comfortable with? What kind of a play style? What kind of a gun? There's certainly been situations where, we've
Attackers have
seen
located a
Vigil playing
bomb.
the Boss G go crazy, but also some where if he had been playing the K1A, would have gotten a kill or two that he would not have with the Boss G in one of those quick situations. So,
10
great
seconds
operator
left.
though, playing upstairs a little bit more of a flank, a little
5
bit more of
seconds
an
remaining.
extension here from this One Up team playing upstairs with the site in the basement.
Attackers' objective is to
Yeah,
defuse a
and
bomb.
I think there's one thing I'm definitely do enjoy watching and even analyzing One Up Esports is the fact that they are very much not I wouldn't say a roam heavy team, but they know how to extend the site. They don't necessarily bunker down like for some sites. They really utilize the map. They really force any attacker, regardless of the team, to utilize every avenue possible to clear people out. Sometimes they die, sometimes they don't. Sometimes the attackers get completely steamrolled on the roam game or on the roam clearance attempt, that it makes them look good. And I love that style of defense. Vigil though does see every avenue above a frags there for the help. Getting up one in the Montaigne when the operator was banged out last map is available now, and the Solus is just running for her life. What a way to start off for both of these teams. But in terms of deaths, I want to say the Zofia dying early on, a bigger pick than the Vigil falling off the wayside for one.
Yeah, I mean, Vigil able to play the roam game, play the lurk, potentially coming up big in the late round. But yeah, you called it. Zofia going to be able to help clear out some of that utility from a distance, and maybe provide that stun capability and provide some backup for the Monty. If you got barbed wire, if you have any of the Legion goos or the Malusi traps that can try and slow him down as he's pushing down into the basement, Zofia able to clear that stuff from a distance. So little bit of a miss though when on that Solus fight with Monty, not taking shots at his feet, more going for the face there. And I think when he was only half shielded, had a little bit of an opportunity. So Monty downstairs in the basement, working on getting this hard breach open to provide some sight lines in a little bit of danger, push the attackers back out of the wine area with the
Oh
Monty, but he's
no.
gonna go down. That's unfortunate. Wow, shot through the table.
Yeah, 60 seconds to go. Beautiful trade off though. 3v3's position still in favor of Chaos as they, or in terms of one up, as they still hold the defensive site. Now look at this Malusi trying to see if she can make her way around, but unfortunately will just decide to fall back with her team and hold down the site. 40 seconds to go. The angles are definitely still in favor of Chaos, but the defensive setup is still a definite stronghold coup. A double kill onto the round. Katie land another one. Unfortunately, does get
Wow.
laid out by Phoenix.
Wow.
A 2v2 situation, 30 seconds left. The angle is onto the diffuser. Flashbangs will need to be utilized in Nomad in dining. Flashbangs ringing free. Impact grenade goes out. Hooper gets one. It's all down to the Azami and Hooper salvaging
Wow.
around for Chaos. A drop down from Kitchen at 2 quick succession kills. And it is 1-all here in Chalet.
I thought we were going to see that. I thought we were going to see that push in, and the defenders with the attacker self flashed, going to be able to stop that plant from around side. But great play by Hooper to make the end around on the table. All of the push, all of the execute coming from that wine side, and the defenders, not able to hold it down. Chaos finally winning
Defenders,
one,
protect your bombs
got
from being
themselves
defused
their
by
one,
attackers.
stopped a little bit of momentum from this one up team, and took advantage of. We talked about
Bomb
basement being
located by
maybe the
attackers.
weaker site, showing why
Mhm.
there with the attackers winning one. So what are we going to do on the one upside? Take it back upstairs, and hold on to another first floor site this time around.
Yeah, and I think even then, even though it ended up, it's going to go down statistically as an attacker win, it wasn't necessarily an easy win for the attack for Chaos. It came down to a 2v2, 10 seconds left. Like you mentioned, the flashbang onto one of the two attacking operators. Cooper played
5
it
seconds
well.
left.
He went on to do more aggressive, the more necessary engagement onto the Kai, the Malusi, then swinging out, still somewhat stunned and flashbang. So she's still trying to recapture her full focus. I still want to give it a little bit towards one up esports. They played it well. They ensured that Chaos had to utilize damn near every second of that round to get that win. But great work from Chaos though. As going into the fourth round, like you mentioned, you're going to the first floor site, Barstock or Bar and Games is the site that you're going to be attacking. And the Chaos, I think they're just going to push it the same way. They're going to push it from the solar side. They're going to clear out that side of the map, go for a more direct push onto the library staircase. They're going to try and play it a little more conservatively.
I like this attacking lineup too from Chaos. You talked about, you're right, when we've seen in those first two rounds, the Flores being one of those operators, using that utility, trying to clear out the defense, make that push in. So, um, oh, the feed cutting out there, unfortunately, for a second.
uh,
Yeah. But
you get
gonna
to
see
see us
that
instead.
the attacker utility come in, but instead
Mhm.
you get to see the casters as we take a little bit of a break, hopefully to get the feed set back up, my friend.
I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty. Best to give me loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty. Calling me royalty.
Guess who's back? Back again. Alien Run. Back again. Welcome back. It's round number five. 3-1 for One Up Esports. If you are just not tuning in for us, we had a bit of an issue, a little tech issue. It's okay. We got it all squared away. Kitchen and dining is where One Up Esports seems to be taking us back to. Quick summary of the first three
Attackers need to
rounds.
locate and
Ron,
defuse
any
bombs.
thoughts?
Wouldn't be live siege without some live problems. That right, the observer's PC went down, unfortunately. Lost his internet, completely shut down. So
Attackers
what
have
we didn't
discovered the
see on
location of a
stream
bomb.
was round 4 finished out. One Up Esports took that one. So they have got themselves in a 3-1 victory or lead here on defense on Chalet. We're in our second game here tonight in the doubleheader. One Up Esports taking on Chaos. Both teams fighting for that playoff position.
10
We
seconds to
talked about
insertion.
that a little bit at the beginning. In at the AEL league here, we're looking
5
for
seconds left.
wins in regulation to score the most
Mhm.
points. If the teams can head into
Attackers'
overtime,
objective is to
they're going to get a
defuse a
little bit
bomb.
of that extra, that extra point to try and make that a little bit easier. So, seeing this team work on getting themselves a hold upstairs, and one Up has definitely been dominant in general as we've moved on. So, would love to see this Chaos team continue to work to push and prod and use this utility to force One Up into the corner here. Right now, 1-3 as we head into round 5.
Yeah, definitely do agree. And as you mentioned, they are going down to the kitchen and kitchen side sledge, going into snowmobile garages and try and see if he can utilize that basement side of Chalet to his advantage. Now, of course, the last time that we saw Chaos attack at this site, it really did not go too well. The way that One Up Esports had themselves set up on the top floor, the fact that they pretty much forced Chaos to utilize every utility known to mankind plus time and still not walk away with even a quarter of that top side push, solidified. I'm interested to see how One Up Esports is really going to try and change this up as they're already utilizing the ace canisters over in the kitchen hall. Liking the pace from Chaos, they're trying to change things up. I'm really interested to see how much more they're going to be adapting and how much more they're going to try and break this setup down.
That's right. Hearing those Flores drones go off, you can see the orange outlines as they're making their push, working on getting this that first thermite charge open downstairs. So they have got the sight lines, they've got some pressure, but this attacking team has got to gain control of office
Ooh.
upstairs to be able to really have the pressure that they need. They're not going to be able to walk in and plant downstairs in the dining room unless they've got that control upstairs.
Yeah, Thermite is the first body to fall down, and then with 60 seconds to go, and Sledge gets his head completely cleaned off. Frag, a
Wow.
beautiful angle
Bomb
over from
diffuser has
Master
been
Bedroom
dropped.
Sons, getting
Oh
another kill onto
no.
Franz, and it is just falling apart for Chaos Esports as One Up Academy, or One Up Esports, should I say, in a 2v5 situation. Tokubi sending another phone call. I believe it's the last one for the round, and oh
Oh
my,
no.
lands a frost trap from the depths of Canada, bringing her down, and it doesn't even matter. Frag, a double kill onto the round. It is all down to the floors. 35 seconds left. Diffuser, cold as you like. It's like cold turkey on a summer afternoon at the park. And Flores trying to make his way through K9 balcony, trying to see if he can pick off these 5 operators of One Up Esports. Angles all against him. The Flores is all by himself. The verticality has already been made. The cross angles has already been set up for One Up Esports to pretty much close him out. 15 seconds left. It doesn't even matter. A swing comes on Emu, cleaning up a flawless round for One Up Esports, and they go up 4-1.
In flawless style as well. They're able to take that fifth round, and really, we saw the attacking team, we saw Chaos put the pressure downstairs. They got thermite, they opened up that main wall into kitchen or into the dining room, but unfortunately, just were never able to gain any control upstairs. The defense really bunkered down. They had the Aruni gates. They had the frost traps, and we saw Dokubi try and make the push in, but in a rush, in a 5v2 situation, just, makes the call
Defenders,
and then
protect
jumps
your
in,
bombs
not
from
looking
being
for the
defused by
frost mat.
attackers.
Lack of intel, a lack of situational awareness there. Unfortunate for Chaos, and they lose that one. Um, in that situation, right, you've got the Dokkaebi. We talk about her as a roam clear operator, but the other thing
Mhm.
is with those calls coming out, you've got 12 seconds of time that you can shut down all of the defender cams. So even though you've got 5 operators available, a couple of them on cams watching to see where the attacker is going to be pushing from, that Dokkaebi call shuts that down immediately. But dropping in a
10
frost mat
seconds to go.
immediately after, obviously, um, not what you wanted to see. Yes, you can
5
get up
seconds
out of
left.
that map, but with 5 people, plenty of opportunity to clear out those ops. So 4-1 half so far. Chaos, last opportunity for them to try and find that standard 4-2 split here on the standard competitive siege. Can they do it? Is this the one that's going to be? I like the changing up and bringing the Monty, but that only works when you've got an operator and you've got a player very comfortable on the shield, even though with the buff, still got to be good on this op. We've seen Chaos make that work in the basement previously. So now the question is one up adapting to this basement play style along with the shield?
Yeah, and I think the Orange is one of the first steps that One Up Esports has decided to try and counter, try and see if they can answer to the Montaigne call. But of course, only time will tell, and especially if the Oryx even has the opportunity to go up one-on-one against his Montaigne. Of course, the Oryx charge will put Montaigne to the same state as if you were be meleeing by the shield itself. So it'll be an interesting, one-on-one interaction that they may or may not have. But of course, only time will tell. A Solarium push is going to be coming out from Chaos Esports. Montaigne, the initial point as the human drone for his team. Wannabe Sports trying to ensure they can utilize as much of the map as possible, trying to slow down the Chaos attack. And it seems like Chaos, for the most part, have decided to just fall back. They're not going to be trying to go through Solarium. Montaigne opting to go more of a direct push. Thermite, though, making the switch over as well as the Solus, still holding Fireplace, trying to see if she can find any sort of intel. That's finding one of the flank drones that was being attempted to be set up by Chaos. A full switch up in terms of the attack, but as well as defense. Look at this. One Up Esports have already fallen back. And it seems like Chaos, still unknowing of this information, have set up all of the nomads for an upstairs drop down. This may or may not bite them in the ass. Only time will tell as we enter the 60-second mark of this round.
I'm just confused as to what we saw from Chaos there. They looked like they were going full top down
Located by
clear.
attack.
They worked on gaining some of that utility, some of that space. They had the defenders a little bit on the run and pushed them over into library. They were going to have to fall back, but completely left it apart. Didn't push at all.
Oh, you move coming out with a double kill from the far hole, but Hooper does
Wow.
clean him out. 3v3, 45 seconds left. Well, 40 seconds to go as Chaos once again in the similar position as they were back in round number 2. Hooper getting a double kill onto the round, and Chaos has seemingly stolen this round away from One Up Esports in a position of success, now in a position of potential demise as One Up Esports just open up the lineup. They're trying to understand where these players are at, trying to see where's the safest place to go for this execution. 15 seconds left though. One Up Esports really trying to hold on. A C4 still in the hand of the Kaid, I believe, but not in core. What an angle onto Phoenix. 2v2 left. Plan has got to start going down. Sophia finally putting it down. Nomad all by himself. C4 goes out. Does not land. Get shot from the sky. Kaid goes down. Pistol out. Diffuser is now down. The swing comes out. No G Hooper. A 2v2 situation in Chaos. Stole the round away from One Up Esports. A 4-2 split as they now switch sides.
Absolutely stolen. You called it. We were, in the middle of that point, we were talking about Chaos just having a weird rotate from, playing the top down clear, allowing all of the defenders to get back downstairs in the basement. But um, eh, the that key point there for me, we saw the C4 come out and the explosion happen, and somehow both of the attackers
Defenders,
survived.
protect your bombs from
I'm
being
very
defeated by
confused because it
attackers.
didn't look like it got shot. It looked like we had the
Attackers
animation
have
that
discovered
the
the
C4
location of
went
a
off.
bomb.
It seems like the
Just
C4 went
surprised. Yeah,
into the
absolutely.
hollow.
Just
It went behind the Nomad
like,
apparently.
oh, wow,
That's
unbelievable.
unfortunate.
I mean, completely falling apart there. You called it. They stole that round away. So Chaos winning both of their attacking rounds in the basement, and One Up winning all 4 of their first floor attacks. So we talked about when we kicked off this map, which was a while ago at this point,
10 seconds
that
remaining.
teams have a different way of playing it, different styles. One Up was obviously very comfortable defending those first floor sites. They got close on the basement, but Chaos taking it. So now, gonna see how this round is going to go. Chaos opting for the first floor defense as well, starting off on Bar Gaming.
Yeah, and I do like one thing that Chaos is bringing out. I don't think One Up Esports really brought it out throughout their defensive setup. Is the Goyo, ensuring that the Goyo canisters are placed in that snowmobile push up main fireplace main push. It really forces One Up Esports to go for a direct library take. Of course, utility is available for One Up Esports. They've got the Capital, they've got the Gridlock, and they got some flashbangs from the Hibana. But the Wamai playing upstairs in the library is ensuring that the utility is being burnt and not utilizing the style that they want to utilize it. But Wamai, though, is fired away. Frag, an entry kill in the library staircase. It seems like the Wamai disc came back to haunt
With
the
the
Wamai
fire.
player as he falls down. Man, that's safe to say he got lit up.
Yeah, no, burnt to a crisp, more like it. It's not often we get to see the Capital kill. If there was going to be a spot, though, here on Chalet, in that library corner, going to be the place that you work on it. So, good clear here by the attacking team. Fight fire with fire, though. Goyo coming out and setting on all these pieces of slowdown and area denial at the bottom of the blue stairs and the exit from mud. So hoping that they can maybe stop this attacking team, slow them down a little bit as they try and make the push down. That's 1, 2, bunch of defensive utility being cleared here by this team, working it systematically, but
Yeah.
5v4 with 1:20 left. Still plenty of time on both sides of the map here for both of these teams to make something happen.
Yeah, one thing I really do want to commend about one esports, the fact that they've cleared out the top floor site with still ample time. I think they still had about 90, 95 to 100 seconds to go, and Emu from above taking out the Jaeger. That is a big kill in terms of weapon capacity. A 5v3 situation, 55 seconds left. Chaos are looking very slim, and it seems like it is another round in the hands of One Up Esports. Panic stations is starting to commence a little bit from Chaos. They're trying to hold on these interesting angles, very tight angles. Umine going up. There goes Legion down for the count. 9 core getting onto Hooper. 2v4 situation. Grenade going off. Ibana going for the plant. Can he see it through the smoke? No, he can't. But Fry getting another kill. 2v3 situation. Plant is now down. It is now a retake for the defenders. An angle from Ku cleans out Legion. It's a 1v3 situation. Goyo all by himself. Can he do it? No, he cannot. 9 core clean it up for One Up Esports. And they get another round closer to a series victory.
That's right, taking it on attack as well, and great play there. I mean, when you're sitting in that last minute of the round left, you had all of the defenders downstairs. You had 2 in that bar stock area, 1 in bar, and tons of vertical play there by the attackers. They had the hatches open. They had complete library control. They had the hatch in e-box there, sort of off to the side. They had
Attackers need to
everything they
locate and
needed
defuse
in order to
bombs.
put tons of pressure on the defense, dropped in utility, dropped in smokes, dropped in nades, got the plant down at the same time. Just very well played from their part, just across the board on how they handled that round. So far, it has been all One Up as we rolled in. I was a little worried coming into this match that Chaos was the favored team and One Up was going to be the underdog fighting, but they have shown up tonight, 5-2 already and feeling very dominant. Chaos is going to take another opportunity, though, at that first floor site, this time on
10
the
seconds
kitchen
left
side,
before
see
insertion.
whether or not they can hold off this attack.
Yeah, and I think
5
it really
seconds
just,
left.
it just reinforces the story being told.
Attackers'
One Up
objective is to
Esports, they're a
locate a
good
bomb and
team.
defuse
It just, and I'll even say for Chaos as well, it's the inconsistency that eats up both of these teams. There are games where they are playing phenomenally, they're beating their opponents, they're able to do their due diligence, they're ensuring that the basics themselves are being done at a level that ensures that they win in regulation. But then there's other games where it looks like they can get so close and yet so far. It, it's like picking and choosing a battle. They're picking and choosing when they want to show up. And in this game in particular, still somewhat early on into the season, is one of those games where you really want to make sure that you set yourself up in a position for success and in position for playoffs later on in the season. This could end up being the game that could bite them in the ass. But for now, Well, Jackal, you ain't got no more feasts to smell as you're down for the count. Legion, though, does get instantly refragged by Emu. A good way to start off the round for both of these teams, a 4v4 within the first minute.
Yeah, that's right. You wasted a lot of time downstairs, although not enough time. A minute downstairs with the Legion playing. Yes, I mean, I think Jackal opening up the hatch a little bit prematurely, maybe not understanding that you had the Legion playing downstairs. And even though, yes, refragged very quickly, that was unfortunate. But wow, how about that bandit trick and a subsequent
Mm-hmm.
death there? Well played by the attackers, getting the thermite charge down, getting bandit in a position to have to
Oh,
do the trick, but then covering from the wall through piano. Well played on the attack. It was what we talked about.
oh.
Chaos sort of struggling with on attack was they weren't able to put pressure
A
on the
bomb has
defense
been located.
while simultaneously using that utility. One up doing a much better job of this time, and the scoreline reflecting that.
Wow, and what a way for them to clear out that top floor. Like you said, just the way that One Up Esports is just playing at a tempo that Chaos is struggling to control. I understand there's a saying that says you die, you die to, you live with the plan, die with the plan. That's one of those plans you really want to let go of. In that sort of extension up above kitchen, you do not want to die attempting to hold the top floor. You want to just burn time. If you're seeing that you're getting steamrolled and the attackers just pushing you face on without a care in the world, fall back, reposition, recalculate, and then go for fight for another day. Chaos were attempting to hold that top floor site
Attackers need to locate and
and
defuse
in
as
a
many
three
bombs
v
as they
five
can.
situation. In a 3v5, just fall back. They've already got control. They've got the man count. Fall back, recollect, reposition, and put yourself in a position to succeed. Now they're in a position where they've got to play perfect seeds
Bomb
for four
located by
straight
attackers.
rounds. And in a team against One Up Esports, who are playing phenomenally, who are feeling themselves, who I'm going to say it, look ready to play and ready to take on the rest of the league, it's going to be difficult for Chaos to bring this back.
Yeah, I mean, just taking a look at that last round, you had the Legion playing down in the
10
bar
seconds left.
gaming area, and just not supported by any other utility
5 seconds
or
left.
defensive assets, right? Out on an island, trying to take care of it by himself. You had the rest of the team sort of spread out, but it was didn't feel like a very high value roam. Yes, you had some roam. Yes, you were trying to waste some time, and you took down the Jackal, but refragged so quickly. We were less than a minute into that round, had already cleared out one and answered back. It didn't seem high value enough, and you called it. They're trying to hold on 5v3 upstairs. You lost your roamer. You don't have good control in place. They didn't have any defensive assets to try and back that up. Sort of fell apart for this team, and right now, like you said, one up is certainly steamrolling this situation. But here we go. OG
Yeah.
playing back down in bar by himself, again,
Oh,
a little bit out on an island and goes down again. Fragged, almost expecting that they would rerun that same strat. Now they're gonna focus on getting those sight lines open. Chaos has got to come alive here in this last 2 minutes of gameplay.
yeah, what a way though. Emu getting another kill onto Phoenix. So that's the bandit down, or Maestro, I believe, down for the count. Nine Cole getting a TK onto Kuba, and Fran getting another kill, and they just brought it back. But Frost down for the count.
Okay.
Frag getting the kill. 3v2 situation still in favor of One Up Esports. The future's going down. It doesn't really even matter. One Up Esports decided to open the door and walk right into Chalet, made it themselves, made it their own in a 7-2, 7-3 victory in favor of One Up Esports. What a way, what a showing, what a way to close out week number 3 here in AEL.
Yeah, that's right. 7-2 victory, and it certainly felt much more one-sided, I think, than even that 7-2 victory shows us. Um, Chaos could only find victory with a plant downstairs in the basement on that wine push, and it almost felt like each one of those could have easily gone in one-up's way. They came down, down to a missed C4 potentially, it was the difference between those two, winning in a 7-1 versus that 7-2. So close, but great job by One Up. They absolutely crushed this team. So Chaos is going to have to look to come back a lot stronger in their next week games.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. And, not to take anything away from One Up Esports, I think Chaos really put up a fight in some of these rounds. It got real dicey, real close. And it just shows, like, if you were to go back to some of the Chaos games that may be out, may not be out. They're real close. They're always fighting tooth and nail with whoever they're playing up against, except maybe like one team who's completely, well, now two teams that's completely steamrolled them. But even then, a 7-2 victory, yes, of course, One Up Sports played phenomenally. Chaos really brought the fight to them. They were really making sure that they had to fight for every round that they won. It just happened that One Up Sports had the better position. And then towards the end of the match, especially on the Chaos defensive side, like you said, players are getting caught out on islands. They're holding positions that they should not be holding. They need to let go of. So at the end of the day, One Up Sports just seem to have the better chemistry. They just have a more solidified roster. Who knows? But either way, I mean, a good game for One Up.
Yeah, yeah. Great game for them, really, and completely dominating there on Chalet. But that is it, I think, for us here at the
Mm-hmm.
AEL League today. The doubleheader coming out, got to see four great teams play, two great games. We're going to be back more again on Monday with more league play as we roll
Yep.
into, oh, not this Monday. We're going to take a break there for the holiday week, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bye
Fourth of
week
July
coming
holiday
up.
is coming up. Yep. Fourth of July
Yes.
holiday is coming up. So, well, until we don't see y'all for another 2 weeks, we do hope that you guys stay safe. Make sure that you are partying responsibly if you are an American, and if you don't celebrate, well, then I hope you guys have a wonderful week off. We'll be back. Um, can't think of the actual number date, but I believe it's like July 8th. July 8th, we'll be back with two
Yay.
more games as week number 4 kicks off, as we now go into the second half or the final stretch for some of these teams in AEL. But anything else you want to say, Whiskey, before we head out?
No, thanks everyone for joining us for the games tonight. And thanks for having a little bit of patience as we dealt with the typical live siege issues. And a big thanks again to the producer and observer joining us there on Prod tonight. And thanks everyone for watching.